Imagine for a moment that you are far from home, lost somewhere along a road carved by time itself. The sun sets behind you, casting long shadows over the dirt path. Ahead, an unknown expanse stretches into the distance, where the horizon blurs into a haze of uncertainty. The air is thick with dust, clinging to your lungs with each shallow breath. Your feet, wrapped in worn leather, ache from miles of relentless travel, and the road beneath you seems to shift with every step. Silence envelops you, save for the faint whispers of the wind and the distant cries of wild things. This is the world of travel in ancient times, a world where every journey could be your last. The sea, the mountains, the deserts, all hostile, and the only certainty, the uncertainty of reaching your destination. You never knew if you'd be the one to fall, lost, forgotten in the endless stretch of time. If this story stirs something deep within you, share your thoughts. Could you have endured a journey like this, where every step could lead you to the unknown? The sun, a harsh and unforgiving eye in the sky, casts its searing gaze over the arid expanse before you. The earth beneath your feet is cracked, split by the thirst of an unforgiving world. With each step, the weight of the journey grows heavier, your worn leather boots sinking slightly into the dust, a rhythm born of weariness. You are not alone though, ahead and behind. Fellow travelers move, their silhouettes stark against the endless horizon. But the road is no friend, and the land it cuts through is a ruthless companion. Every step is a gamble, each twist in the path a question, each breath a challenge. The heat rises in waves, distorting the very air around you, making every distant object shimmer like a mirage. Your body, parched and aching, craves something, anything, but there is no relief, not yet. The world ahead feels both boundless and suffocating, as though it will swallow you whole if you falter. The sound of the wind is the only constant, harsh and dry, brushing against your face like the whispers of unseen dangers. Somewhere in the distance you hear the faint cry of an animal, perhaps a bird or a wild beast, a stark reminder that the wilds hold no mercy. And yet, you press on. What choice do you have? The road offers no answer, no respite, only the promise of more distance, more uncertainty. The road stretches endlessly before you, a path worn by countless feet, some eager, others desperate, all of them now forgotten. The earth beneath your feet is littered with silent reminders. The brittle remains of a cart, half buried in the dirt, a rotting bundle of cloth, a traveller's last possession, clinging to the earth in a quiet plea. But it is the bones you notice most, the long, bleached remains of those who were swallowed by the same path you now walk. Their silent, weathered faces stare at you, a haunting reminder of the price of travel in this unforgiving world. As you move deeper into the wilds, you feel the weight of their presence, a heaviness in the air, an intangible force that seems to follow you with each step. The bones are not merely remnants, they are markers, they are warnings. Each one is a story left untold, a life lost in the dust, forgotten by time. You cannot help but wonder if your own story will join theirs, if your bones will one day lie in the same desolate soil, unnoticed by all who pass. The sun dips lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the road. In the fading light, the sense of being watched grows stronger. You catch glimpses of movement just beyond the corner of your eye, shadows that shift when you turn, figures that disappear when you blink. Are they real, or is it merely your mind, fraying under the strain of the journey? You can't tell. The air is thick with the silence of the dead, and yet it hums with an eerie presence, as though the very land holds its breath, waiting for you to join those who came before. A rustling in the underbrush startles you, and you stop, heart racing. For a moment, all is still. Then, from the corner of your eye, you catch sight of something. A pale figure standing just off the path. You turn sharply, but it is gone, vanished, as swiftly as it appeared. Was it one of the lost travelers, their spirit still bound to the earth, or simply a trick of the light, the manifestation of your growing fear? You force yourself to continue, though. The urge to turn back, to abandon this cursed path, grips at your chest. But there is nowhere to go. The road ahead is the only way forward, and you know this journey will not end until you reach its bitter conclusion. Still, the weight of the forgotten presses down on you, the ghosts of travelers past whispering in the wind, urging you onward. After what feels like an eternity, the silhouette of an inn appears on the horizon, a faint flicker of warmth in the midst of this desolate stretch of land. You quicken your pace, desperate for rest, for shelter from the sun that seems to burn deeper with each passing moment. The road has been cruel to you, your body is worn, muscles aching from the long march, your skin cracked by the relentless heat, your mouth is dry, your throat ached by the dust that clings to your every breath. The sight of the inn, standing solitary and welcoming, feels like an oasis. Could this be the end of the suffering? The door creaks open as you approach, the scent of burning wood and warm food spilling into the night air. Inside, a fire crackles in the hearth, the light flickering against the dimness of the room. It is small, humble, but it is a sanctuary compared to the desolate world outside. You take a deep breath, feeling the weight of your journey shift, if only for a moment. The heat of the fire on your skin is like a balm, soothing the rawness of your body. You slip into the warmth, feeling the tension in your limbs begin to ease, your eyes struggling to stay open after days of travel. Around you, travelers sit in quiet conversation, their faces tired, their bodies as weary as yours. Some stare into their cups, their eyes distant, as if lost in their own thoughts. Others speak in low tones, sharing stories of their own journeys, of roads they have crossed, and dangers they have faced. The inn is a temporary refuge, a brief respite from the endless stretch of the wilderness. But something in the air unsettles you, a heaviness that lingers, a feeling that you are not as safe as you wish to believe. The innkeeper, an older man, with a furrowed brow, watches you carefully as you settle into a chair by the fire. His eyes are keen, not unfriendly, but guarded, as though he has seen too many travelers pass through these doors, never to leave again. His hands move with practiced efficiency as he fills a bowl of stew, placing it before you without a word. You take a spoonful, the warmth of the broth comforting, but the food tastes faintly metallic, a reminder that even the smallest pleasures on this journey come at a cost. You are not at home here. You are an outsider, passing through, just as those before you have passed. The stories you hear begin to blur into a low hum, a mix of fear and resignation. A man speaks of his encounter with bandits, his voice shaking as he recounts the terror of having his life threatened by strangers in the night. A woman tells of her daughter, lost to the wilds, the girl never returning to her arms. Each story feels like a warning, a reminder that safety is fleeting, a luxury that the road does not afford. The fire crackles louder now, its warmth seeming less comforting, its glow more ominous. You try to ignore the unease that creeps through your veins, the growing suspicion that this place, like the road itself, is not what it seems. The silence deepens, broken only by the occasional clink of metal or the soft murmur of voices. Time stretches, thick and slow, as if even the passage of hours has lost its meaning here. You realize that the world outside may be harsh and unforgiving, but the danger inside these walls is far subtler. It is a quiet, insidious kind of threat, the kind that waits, watches, and offers nothing but false assurances. As the night wears on, you find yourself growing restless. The warmth of the fire begins to feel stifling, the walls of the inn closing in on you. It is as though the very place is alive, watching, waiting for you to lower your guard. You finish your meal in silence, the food a faint comfort, the room now an oppressive presence. You long for the open air, the space to breathe freely once again. But you know better than to leave in the dead of night. The road may be uncertain, but the dangers here are just as real, if not more so. You lay down on a cot by the wall, the thin blanket rough against your skin, your thoughts restless as you stare into the shadows. Sleep comes slowly, but when it does, it is filled with strange dreams. Dreams of distant voices calling, of figures in the dark, of paths that twist and bend into shapes that no longer make sense. The world is no longer just the road, the wilderness, the bones of the lost. The world now lives in the space between dreams and waking, where even the safest places are not what they seem. The morning light creeps through the cracks in the wooden walls, painting the room in soft, golden hues. The fire that once offered warmth is now reduced to smouldering embers, casting flickering shadows on the floor. You wake with the unsettling feeling that the inn, though a brief refuge, was never meant to hold you for long. The road calls again, its silent promise still hanging in the air. You rise from the cot, the blanket rough against your skin, and gather what little you have left. There is no comfort here, only the lingering weight of uncertainty. As you step outside, the air feels different, sharper, more alive. The wilderness is not the silent void it once seemed, but a vast, breathing entity that surrounds you on all sides. The earth, dry and cracked in places, grows thicker with each step you take into its embrace. The trees here are old, twisted and gnarled, their roots reaching deep into the earth, as if holding secrets older than time itself. The silence is broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind, or the distant call of an unseen bird, soaring high above you. The road you have followed so far begins to fade behind you, and the path ahead is unclear, scattered with the remnants of forgotten travelers. You press on, knowing that there is no turning back. The world you are entering is vast and untamed, its dangers hidden in every shadow. The wilderness is no longer a place of refuge. It is the true test of your endurance, your resolve. It is a place where the rules of civilization no longer apply, where survival is determined by the strength of your will and the knowledge passed down by those who have traveled before you. The road that stretches out before you is not the same one you've known, not the one that promised an end. It is wild, unpredictable, and infinitely more dangerous. The path grows steeper as you climb, the earth beneath your feet shifting with each step, threatening to give way. The trees press closer now, their branches hanging low, nearly blocking the sunlight. You find yourself ducking beneath them, your hands brushing against rough bark as you push through. The wilderness seems to close in on you, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. There is no sign of human life here, no footprints to follow, only the occasional flicker of movement in the distance. Something large and dark, perhaps a wild animal, or the shadow of something even more dangerous. You move forward with purpose, though the unknown weighs heavily on your mind. The forest around you is no longer silent, but filled with the low hum of life, a constant murmur that seems to come from every direction. The land feels alive, as though it is watching you, waiting for you to make a mistake. You are no longer the master of your journey. The wilderness is, and yet, despite the overwhelming sense of danger, there is also a strange beauty in it, a rawness that you cannot deny. The trees, though they seem to close in around you, also offer shade from the relentless sun. The earth beneath your feet is solid, the ground holding you steady, even as the world above you shifts with the wind. Hours pass in silence, the only sound the crunch of your footsteps and the occasional snap of twigs beneath your weight. The path, such as it is, continues to wind through the trees, leading you deeper into the heart of the wilderness. There are no signs, no markers, only the faintest impression of a trail left by those who came before you. Or perhaps it is just your imagination, your desire for something familiar, something to guide you through the uncertainty. As you press on, a sense of dread begins to creep into your bones. The further you travel, the more isolated you feel. There is no sign of life, no sounds other than those of the forest itself. Even the wind has quieted, leaving only the eerie stillness of the wilderness. The trees seem to close in tighter, their branches reaching out like long, grasping fingers, their shadows stretching across the ground, making it difficult to discern what lies ahead. The world has become an endless maze of dark spaces and unknown dangers, and yet you cannot stop moving. The road behind you is gone, the inn a fading memory. There is only the wilderness now, and it is a force you cannot control. Night begins to fall, the sky above you darkening with the fading light. The temperature drops quickly, and the chill creeps into your bones, though the forest still feels alive with its secrets. You find a small clearing and make camp, the fire you build flickering weakly in the gathering darkness. The shadows stretch long around you, as though the wilderness itself is creeping closer, inch by inch, until it swallows you whole. The night is silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind, and the distant howl of some unseen creature. You know that you must keep your wits about you, for the dangers of the wilds are not always seen. They lurk in the quiet spaces, in the places where the eyes cannot reach. Sleep is difficult, the darkness pressing in around you like a weight. The fire crackles softly, the only sound that fills the silence, but even it seems to grow faint in the face of the wilderness. The stars above are distant, cold and unfeeling, watching as you fight to survive another night in the unknown. You wonder briefly if you will make it through to the morning. The wilderness does not care whether you live or die. It will continue, regardless. And so, you lie there, your body tense, your thoughts racing, knowing that you must face whatever comes next. The hours blur, the darkness wrapping around you like a cloak. The cold bites at your skin, but it is nothing compared to the gnawing ache inside you, the hunger that has grown deeper with each passing day. Your stomach, once full of the promise of sustenance, now aches with an emptiness that seems impossible to fill. The small ration of dried bread you carry is little comfort. Its hard texture scraping against your dry throat, its flavor a distant memory of warmth. Water, too, is in short supply, and each drop you manage to gather feels like a blessing, yet it never seems enough. The land offers you no mercy. The streams you pass are mere trickles, and the plants, though wild and vibrant, offer little nourishment. You begin to understand the weight of hunger in a way that goes beyond the physical. The mind becomes clouded, thoughts turning sluggish, each step becoming a battle of will against the body's demands. Your focus narrows, not on the beauty of the landscape around you, but on the relentless need for sustenance, food, water, something to fill the emptiness inside. The sun, once a constant presence in the sky, now feels like an enemy, its heat draining your strength even further, the day stretching on endlessly, like a punishment. The wilderness, which had once seemed so full of life, now feels hollow, an unyielding expanse that offers no reprieve. You stumble on, the earth beneath you shifting with each step, your legs growing weaker, your body growing more frail. Each step forward is a labor, as though the very ground resists your movement, unwilling to let you pass. The hunger inside you has become a hunger for everything, the need for sustenance, the need for rest, the need to find some sense of hope in this vast wilderness. But there is no hope here, only the next step, the next breath, the next desperate search for something to ease the emptiness. The wind picks up, dry and biting, carrying with it the scent of dust and decay. Your lips crack, dry from the heat and the lack of moisture, and each breath feels like inhaling sand. You keep moving, despite the overwhelming sense of despair that begins to creep in. There is no safety here, no shelter to shield you from the relentless elements. There is only the road, if you can call it that, and the wilderness that surrounds you, indifferent to your suffering. The sun beats down from above, its rays piercing through the canopy of trees, a constant reminder that you are small, insignificant, in the face of something far greater than yourself. You find yourself searching the ground for any sign of water, any indication of a stream or river that might offer a reprieve. But the earth, cracked and dry, offers no answers. The wild grasses sway in the wind, but there is nothing here that can quench your thirsts. Your mind becomes consumed with the need for water, the simple, primal urge to survive. You begin to wonder how much longer you can go on like this, how much longer you can endure the hunger and thirst that are slowly but surely breaking you. The sky darkens as night begins to fall, and with it comes a sharp, biting cold that seems to pierce through your bones. Your body shakes involuntarily, a mixture of hunger, thirst, and the chill in the air. The fire you manage to build is small, the flames flickering weakly in the dark. You huddle near it, trying to find some warmth, but the comfort it provides is fleeting. The hunger is still there, still gnawing at you, a constant companion that refuses to let go. Your thoughts become disjointed, your body heavy, your movements slow and deliberate. You have become a shadow of the person you once were, driven by nothing but the need to survive. Sleep comes fitfully, your dreams filled with the sounds of rushing water, the sight of fresh fruit hanging from trees, the taste of cool, clear water quenching your thirst. But when you wake, it is the same emptiness, the same aching hunger, the same endless thirst. The wilderness offers no reprieve, only the same unforgiving landscape, stretching out before you, as harsh and relentless as the journey itself. The road ahead is still long, and you wonder, briefly, if you will find the strength to continue. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the heat intensifies, and your steps become more sluggish, each footfall a struggle against the fatigue that weighs down your body. The land stretches before you, barren and dry, a vast sea of dust and stone. The hunger gnaws at you with a fierce urgency, and your throat burns with thirst. Every step forward feels like a cruel joke, the land offering no respite, no promise of a future beyond the next moment. Your thoughts become consumed by the desire for relief, for something, anything to quench your aching body. And then, through the haze, you see it. At first it's just a shimmer, faint and distant, but it grows stronger with each passing second. A flash of blue, clear, shimmering, inviting. Your heart quickens as you push forward, your pace quickening, your steps becoming more erratic, driven by the vision of what lies ahead. Could it be? Could it truly be an oasis, a patch of water, a haven amidst the desolation? The air is thick with heat, the ground beneath you soft with the promise of something more. You squint against the sun, your eyes straining to focus on the shimmering blue in the distance. The illusion grows stronger with every step you take, a shimmering promise that pulls you forward toward the hope of relief. You quicken your pace, heart racing, body aching, the taste of water already on your tongue. Each breath feels sharper, as though the very air is thicker, charged with the anticipation of what you are about to find. But as you draw closer, the illusion begins to distort. The oasis, once so clear, now shifts, twisting, becoming something less certain. The blue you had seen is fading, melting into the same dusty earth, the same barren landscape that is stretched endlessly before you. The shimmering water vanishes, replaced by a dry, cracked expanse. The earth beneath your feet is nothing more than the same desolation that has followed you for days. Your heart sinks, a deep ache settling in your chest as you stop in your tracks. The oasis, once so clear, is nothing more than a mirage, a cruel trick of the mind, a fleeting hope that has now been dashed. Your body feels heavier now, the reality of your situation settling in. The thirst is even more unbearable, the hunger even more desperate. You've been chasing an illusion, and now it feels as though the wilderness itself is mocking you, pulling away the very thing you desire most. You stand still for a long moment, your chest rising and falling with the effort of each breath, your hands trembling as you clutch the empty air. The mirage has vanished, but the thirst remains, the hunger unyielding. The wind blows in from the distance, carrying with it the same dry heat, the same suffocating silence. You swallow hard, trying to push the bitter taste of failure from your mouth. The landscape ahead is still barren, empty. You turn your gaze back, and there is no comfort to be found. No oasis to return to, no water to ease the ache in your throat. The road continues to stretch before you, relentless and unfeeling. You know that your only choice is to keep moving, to keep searching for something that may never come. The mirage was a fleeting hope, a brief glimpse of something better that was never truly there. But the wilderness doesn't care. It continues, indifferent, stretching out before you like an endless trial. Your legs feel like lead, your body heavy and broken, but you push forward. The mirage is gone, but you still have the road, still have the journey, still have the faintest hope that somewhere, beyond the horizon, there might be something real. The wind begins to pick up as the sun dips lower, casting long, twisting shadows over the path. The wilderness around you feels like it is closing in, the trees, once distant, now crowding you on all sides. The leaves rustle in the wind, creating an eerie symphony that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Every crack of a branch, every whisper of the wind, feels like a warning, a reminder that the wilderness is not as empty as it first seemed. You are not alone here, but the question is, who or what shares this desolate place with you? You can feel it now, the strange sense of being watched. It begins as a faint unease, the feeling of eyes upon you, but it grows with each step you take. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, your pulse quickening, a primal instinct urging you to keep moving, but there is nowhere to hide. The trees are thick and tangled, the ground uneven and treacherous, and the sky is no longer the open, welcoming expanse it once seemed. It has become a weight above you, heavy with the promise of something lurking in the shadows. You try to focus on your surroundings, trying to dispel the creeping sense of dread, but it only intensifies. You hear a rustling behind you, the distinct snap of a twig breaking underfoot. You whirl around, your heart racing, but there is nothing, only the faint outline of trees against the darkening sky. The wind sighs through the branches, and for a moment you think perhaps it was just the wind, just your mind playing tricks on you. But the feeling of being followed lingers, unshakable. The next rustle comes from the other side. This time, you don't turn. There's no need. The sound is too far away, too faint, to be anything more than the shift of the land. Yet your eyes constantly flicker to the shadows, to the spaces between the trees, to the faintest movements at the edge of your vision. You are not alone. The wilderness is not empty. It is alive, and you are its prey. The thought gnaws at you, sinking into your bones. The once pristine wilderness now feels like a labyrinth, each turn concealing a new terror. The fear of the unseen becomes a constant companion, lurking just beyond your sight. Every time you stop, you feel as though the very land is closing in, its invisible eyes watching you, waiting for you to make a mistake. The silence becomes unbearable. The occasional snap of a twig, the distant cry of some unseen creature. Each sound carries a weight, a meaning you cannot quite grasp. The shadows grow longer as dusk settles over the wilderness, the sky above turning a deep, bruised purple. The world feels still, yet it is a stillness filled with the presence of things you cannot see, cannot touch. They are here, somewhere. You can feel it in the air, a tension that rises with each passing minute. You keep moving, your steps quickening, trying to outrun the feeling of being hunted, but there is no escaping it. The road ahead is just as dark and foreboding as the one you've left behind. You feel as though you are walking in circles, trapped by the very land you hoped would offer you sanctuary. The trees seem to close in around you, their twisted forms becoming shapes in the darkness, figures that shift and twist as you pass them. Each step is now an act of survival. Every footfall is a challenge, the unknown pressing in from all sides. You begin to wonder if it's real, or if it is just the darkness, the fatigue, the desperation weaving shadows into your mind. But the fear remains, a steady pulse beneath your skin. It does not go away. It stays with you, like an invisible force, a whisper just out of reach. Night falls fully now. The stars a distant shimmer in the sky. You find a small clearing and set up camp, though your hands tremble as you build the fire. You cannot shake the feeling that something is waiting in the dark, something just beyond the reach of your firelight. The flames crackle and pop, the light flickering with each gust of wind. But it does little to chase away the fear that has settled in your chest. You huddle near the fire, staring into the darkness, your senses heightened, listening for any sign of movement, any sign that you are not alone. The night presses in, and you wait, heart pounding, eyes straining against the shadows, knowing that in this vast, empty place, the greatest danger may not be what you can see, but what you cannot. The night is long, the shadows stretching unnaturally as if the darkness itself is reaching out to pull you into its grasp. The fire flickers weakly, the small flames dancing in the cool breeze that picks up in the late hours. The night feels oppressive, the silence punctuated only by the occasional crackle of the fire and the rustling of leaves. But beneath that silence, something else stirs, a sense of foreboding that clings to the air. Your eyes scan the darkness, your thoughts spinning, your body taut with the unspoken fear that lurks just beyond the circle of firelight. You are not sure how long you've been awake. The time has blurred, lost in the haze of exhaustion, hunger, and the overwhelming weight of uncertainty. The wilderness around you remains as quiet as ever, but it is the stillness that feels most unnerving. It is in the silence that you feel the most vulnerable, as if the land itself holds its breath, waiting for something to happen. The wind has died down, leaving behind a stifling air, thick with the scent of damp earth and the faint smell of decay. Then, through the quiet, you hear it, a sound, a faint rustling, soft but distinct, coming from the shadows just beyond the firelight. Your heart races. The familiar sensation of being watched surges again, but this time it is different. This time it feels tangible, real. The hairs on the back of your neck rise, your breath shallow as you turn slowly, eyes narrowing into the darkness. At first you see nothing, only the dim outline of trees and the flickering light of your campfire. But then, just at the edge of your vision, something moves. It's subtle, but it is there. A figure, half hidden in the shadows, watching you. You freeze, unsure whether to act or to remain still, hoping the presence will simply go away. But it doesn't. The figure moves again, this time stepping into the dim light of your fire. A man, weathered and worn, his face gaunt and hollow, his clothes torn and patched with the same rough materials you wear. His eyes lock onto yours, dark and wild, as if he too has been lost in the wilderness for far too long. His gaze is intense, searching, almost desperate. For a long moment, neither of you moves, the air thick with the unspoken tension of a meeting that is as unexpected as it is unnerving. He seems to be sizing you up, his body tense as if ready to flee or to fight. "Who are you?" you manage to whisper, your voice hoarse from the dryness in your throat. The man does not answer immediately. Instead, he takes a step closer, his movements cautious, as if unsure whether to trust you. His eyes flicker nervously to the shadows behind you, as if he expects something or someone to emerge from the dark. "I'm not here to hurt you," he says, his voice rough, barely more than a rasp. "I'm just passing through." The words hang in the air, but they do little to soothe your nerves. There is something in his tone, something that makes your heart beat faster, a sense that there is more to his story than he is letting on. His eyes dart again, this time toward the trees behind you. Then back to your fire. You follow his gaze, but there is nothing there. Nothing except the ever-expanding darkness. Yet, you feel a strange sense of urgency in the way he moves. The way his eyes search the shadows. "You're not safe here," he says suddenly, his voice tight with fear. "None of us are. They're watching. Always watching." The words hit you like a cold wave, and your stomach tightens. Who is he talking about? Who is he afraid of? You open your mouth to ask, but the man's eyes flash with a frantic intensity, his breath coming in quick gasps as if he has been running from something for far too long. Before you can react, he turns away, his figure already retreating into the dark. "Wait," you call out, but the man doesn't stop. His footsteps quicken, becoming muffled in the distance, and soon he is gone, swallowed by the wilderness as though he had never been there at all. For a long while, you sit in stunned silence, your mind reeling from the brief encounter. What had just happened? Who was that man, and what was he so afraid of? His warning lingers in your mind, the words echoing in the stillness. They're watching, but who are they, and why would someone, anyone, be out here in the wilderness alone, in such a state of desperation? You feel the fire flickering before you, its light a weak beacon in the overwhelming dark. The warmth it offers feels distant, as though it is no match for the chill that has settled in your bones. You look once more into the night, your thoughts racing, but the shadows are empty now. The man is gone, but his presence remains. A lingering spectre, an unsettling reminder that in this wilderness you are not alone. Night presses on, thick and heavy, wrapping its cold fingers around you. The fire flickers, casting a feeble light against the ever-encroaching dark. Your mind churns, still gripped by the strange encounter with the man who disappeared as quickly as he had appeared. His words, "they're watching," echo in your thoughts, growing louder with each passing moment, until they drown out all other sound. Who was he, and what was he running from? More importantly, why had he warned you? The wilderness, vast and indifferent, has never felt so dangerous, so filled with unseen eyes. You shift uncomfortably on the ground, your body sore from days of travel, hunger and exhaustion. Despite the fire, the chill in the air seems to deepen, sinking into your bones, settling in the pit of your stomach. You pull your cloak tighter around your shoulders, but it does little to stave off the creeping cold. It is the quiet that unsettles you most. The oppressive stillness of the night presses in around you, suffocating, as if the land itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The forest is alive, yes, but it feels too silent, too watchful. The wind has stopped completely, and the rustling of leaves, the chirping of insects, the calls of nocturnal creatures, all of it has faded. Even the shadows seem to hold their breath. It is as if the world has stopped moving, waiting, listening. You sit still, your eyes scanning the edges of the firelight, your ears straining to catch any sound, any hint of movement in the darkness. But there is nothing. Not even the whisper of a breeze. You try to tell yourself that it is merely the stillness of the night, the quiet that always falls over the wilderness once the sun has set. But the tension in the air feels different tonight. Something thicker, more palpable than the usual solitude of the wild. The absence of sound, the weight of the silence, it feels deliberate. Something is out there, watching you, waiting. A flicker in the corner of your vision causes your heart to race. You snap your head to the side, but there is nothing, only the thick dark of the forest, the trees standing like silent sentinels. You exhale slowly, trying to steady your nerves. You must be imagining things. It is the exhaustion, the hunger, the fear, the weight of the journey catching up with you. The wilderness plays tricks on the mind, distorting reality until everything feels like a threat. But then you hear it, a soft rustle, just beyond the reach of the firelight. The sound is faint, so faint that you almost believe it to be a figment of your imagination. But then again, a gentle snap of a twig, followed by another slightly louder, as though something or someone is moving just beyond the edge of the light. You freeze, your heart pounding in your chest. The sound is deliberate, controlled, as if whoever or whatever it is trying to remain unseen. But there is no mistaking it now. Something is out there, watching you. Your breath catches in your throat, the air suddenly thick with fear. You grip the hilt of your knife. Your only weapon, though. It feels like a poor defense against the unknown presence lurking just out of sight. The fire crackles, its light dancing erratically as the wind picks up again, scattering embers into the night. You strain your eyes into the darkness, hoping to catch even the faintest glimpse of what is out there. But all you see are the black twisting trunks of trees, their gnarled limbs reaching out like skeletal hands, their shadows long and twisted in the firelight. Minutes pass, though they feel like hours. You remain perfectly still, your every muscle tensed, ready to spring into action, yet unsure of what to do. You've been in dangerous situations before, but this feels different. The wilderness has a way of humbling you, making you realize how small you truly are in its vastness. But tonight, the wilderness feels like more than just a backdrop to your struggle. It feels alive, breathing, watching you with eyes you cannot see. Then, without warning, you hear the sound again, closer this time, just beyond the firelight. A soft rustle, followed by the sound of something moving through the underbrush. You grip your knife tighter, your breath shallow, your pulse quickens. The silence of the night seems to have thickened, becoming suffocating, as if the air itself is filled with the weight of whatever is watching you. You have to know. You can't sit here in the dark, waiting for something to strike from the shadows. You stand slowly, carefully, your legs unsteady from the exhaustion of the journey. The firelight flickers as you move toward the edge of the clearing, your eyes scanning the darkness. Every step feels like it's pulling you further into the unknown. Each footfall, a beat closer to the unknown presence. The darkness presses in from all sides, but you can't stop now, not when you've come so far. You reach the edge of the firelight and your heart stops. The rustling stops too. The world seems to freeze, suspended in that single quiet moment. And then, you see it, just a glimpse, a shadow, moving between the trees, too fast for you to catch. But it's enough. Something is out there waiting. And for the first time you wonder if the wilderness is as unforgiving as it seems, or if something else, something darker is lurking just beyond your reach. The stillness that follows is deafening. The fire, once a comforting source of warmth, now feels inadequate. Its flickering light failing to chase away the shadows that press closer with every passing second. Your heart beats erratically in your chest, each thud echoing in the silence, loud and insistent. You stand at the edge of the clearing, eyes fixed on the spot where the shadow disappeared into the trees, your body frozen in a mix of fear and resolve. The rustling in the underbrush has ceased, leaving you in an eerie quiet, your thoughts tumbling over one another, desperate for an explanation. Was it an animal? Or something, someone else? The wilderness is full of strange creatures, of unseen dangers, but this feeling, this weight in the air, is unlike anything you've encountered before. You can't shake the sense that you are being hunted, that the shadows are not merely shadows, but something far more sinister waiting for you to slip up, to make a mistake. Despite the fear gnawing at you, the only choice is to keep moving. You have no other option. The wilderness may be cruel, but it is all that stands between you and whatever fate awaits. You gather what little strength you have left, swallowing the panic that rises in your throat, and make your way back toward the fire. Each step feels heavy, the darkness pressing in from all sides, but the small light of the fire is a beacon in the vast emptiness of the forest. It is your one connection to the world that feels real, a stubborn flicker of warmth and light in the face of the unknown. But as you sit down by the fire, the warmth it provides seems to wane, its light flickering weakly against the suffocating dark. The shadows grow longer, stretching further, as though they too are reaching for you, closing in with every passing moment. You look around, but there is no movement, no sound. The wilderness is quiet, too quiet, and the uncertainty of what is out there, the thing you cannot see, but can feel, begins to crawl under your skin. You close your eyes for a moment, just to steady yourself, to calm your mind. When you open them again, you are struck by how the fire seems so small in the face of the night. The warmth, once so inviting, now feels like a fragile, fleeting comfort. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the trees around you, their twisted branches moving in the wind like skeletal arms, reaching, grasping, waiting. Your breath catches as you realize that in the space between the flickering light, the shadows seem to grow darker, more defined. You turn your gaze back to the heart of the fire, focusing on the flames. The crackling sound, the warmth of the light, becomes your anchor, grounding you in the reality of the moment. You have to believe that the fire will keep the darkness at bay. You have to believe that for now, it is enough. But even as you try to reassure yourself, there is an undeniable flicker of doubt, just a flash of something dark and hidden in the edges of your mind. It's not just the fire. It's not just the shadows. It's the knowledge that, no matter how bright the flame, the night is vast, and you are small within it. The world beyond your circle of light is unknown, unfathomable, and whatever lies out there, whether beast or man, remains a mystery, a threat that is as elusive as it is dangerous. The fire crackles louder, the sounds suddenly sharper in the quiet, and you find yourself leaning forward, your eyes scanning the edges of the light, hoping desperately that it will reveal something more. But there is nothing. The trees remain still, the shadows unmoving, the wilderness silent, yet the feeling of being watched never leaves. It lingers like a heavy fog in the air, pressing down on you, making every breath feel like it carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. The minutes stretch on, each second dragging as the fire burns low. You know you cannot stay here forever, not in this one small patch of light. The wilderness is too vast, too unyielding. There is no choice but to press on, to find a way forward, to search for whatever safety may lie ahead. But for now, the fire is all you have. It is fragile, but it is enough. The flicker is stubborn, refusing to be snuffed out by the dark. It is the only thing keeping the unknown at bay, and for that, it is worth holding on to. You sit, watching the fire, wondering how much longer it will burn before the night swallows it whole. The fire dims, casting long, wavering shadows across the clearing. The air grows cooler now, the cold creeping in as the night settles deeper. You are not sure how long you've been sitting there, caught in the quiet, the stillness of the wilderness pressing in from all sides. The shadows seem to stretch endlessly, reaching out from the trees, as if they have a mind of their own, and yet, the fire, though weak, continues to flicker. It is your lifeline, fragile as it is. It is the only thing between you and the darkness that waits beyond. But the feeling of being watched persists, a constant weight in the air. You cannot shake the sense that something is out there, hidden in the blackness, lurking just beyond the light. You have already been here for far too long, and the road ahead calls to you, distant and uncertain, but promising something more than the suffocating stillness of the forest. The path is long, and the journey is far from over. But the question that haunts you now is simple. Do you stay here, clinging to the fragile warmth of the fire, or do you leave, plunging back into the unknown, where the shadows might swallow you whole? Your mind races, torn between two worlds, the temporary safety of the fire, the known dangers of the wilderness, and the uncertain promise of the road ahead, the uncertainty of whatever lies beyond the next bend. The choice is a bitter one. The fire is no longer enough to hold back the creeping fear, the knowledge that the wilderness is vast, and you are a mere speck in its expanse. The quiet seems to close in on you, a thick pressure against your chest. Every crack of a twig, every rustle in the leaves sends a jolt of panic through your body. You rise, slowly, the weight of exhaustion pressing heavily on your limbs. Your legs are stiff, your body aching from days of travel, from the constant strain of survival. Your throat is dry, your stomach hollow with hunger. But despite it all, you know that you cannot remain here. You cannot wait in this place of false safety. The wilderness is a living, breathing thing, and it is not kind to those who linger too long in one spot. You have been warned, in whispered words and strange encounters, that this world offers no permanence. You must keep moving, keep walking, keep searching for something that might ease the ache of your journey. The fire flickers one last time, its light dying slowly as the wood burns to ash. You glance back at it, watching as the last ember fades into darkness. The warmth is gone, leaving behind nothing but the cold of the wilderness. It is time to go. You turn toward the road, the path that stretches out before you, and take your first step into the unknown. The shadows feel thicker now, more oppressive, but there is no turning back. You press on, your mind focused on the journey ahead, your body bracing against the weight of fear. The road is long, the wilderness is vast, but there is no other choice. You have to move forward, no matter how uncertain the road may be. With each step, the darkness recedes just a little bit, pushed back by the faint hope that there is something more beyond it, something waiting for you. The road stretches ahead, long and uncertain, but it is the only thing that offers you any sense of purpose, any hope of something better. And so you walk, knowing that the journey is far from over, but certain that this moment, this choice is one you must make if you are to survive. As you move deeper into the wilderness, the road becomes less and less clear, fading into the earth as though the land itself is trying to erase your path. The trees, once sparse, now press in on all sides, their branches reaching down like outstretched arms, blocking out the sky and casting the world in shadows. Each step you take feels uncertain, as though you are no longer following a trail, but cutting through an endless expanse of unknown. The ground beneath your feet shifts constantly. Soft patches of moss give way to jagged rocks, damp earth gives way to dry, cracked soil, as if the land itself is fighting you every step of the way. The silence here is absolute, a deep and heavy quiet that presses against your eardrums, making each movement feel unnatural, each breath feel too loud. Your mind races with every sound, the crack of a twig, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of an unseen animal. Every noise seems amplified in the stillness, and you begin to wonder if it is only your own fear turning the quiet into something more ominous than it truly is. The wilderness is no longer just a backdrop to your struggle. It has become a presence, a force that pushes against you, reminding you how small you are in the face of such vastness. But still, you move on, pushing forward, despite the weight of uncertainty that clings to you. You must keep moving. There is nothing else. The wilderness offers no answers, no comforts, no assurances. It offers only the promise of survival, if you can endure. And that promise is all you have left now. You pass through the dense thicket, the thick trunks of trees forming walls around you, blocking any view of the world beyond. The road is a shadow of itself, a fading thread leading into the unknown, but there is no turning back. As the day stretches on, the sun now hidden behind a canopy of leaves, you feel a sense of disorientation creeping in. The path grows more erratic, more unpredictable, as if the wilderness itself is trying to confuse you, to lead you off course. The trees seem to blur together, their trunks indistinguishable from one another, their branches interlocking in a tangled mass above you, blocking the little light that manages to filter through the canopy. You lose all sense of direction, all sense of time. There is only the road and the overwhelming need to reach something, anything, that might signal an end to this wild place. But then, just when you begin to feel as though the world itself has closed in on you, you break free. The trees open up, and before you lies a vast, open plain, an expanse that stretches farther than you can see, where the sky is wide and the earth stretches endlessly, in every direction. It is a moment of revelation, a sudden shift from the dense, oppressive forest to an open, barren landscape. The air feels different here, fresher, cooler, and you draw in a deep breath, the emptiness of the land filling your lungs. It is a strange thing, this transition. You stand at the edge of the wilderness, the trees falling away behind you, the vast expanse of land before you, offering a new kind of freedom, freedom from the shadows, freedom from the pressing weight of the wilderness. But it is also a new kind of fear. The land here is open, exposed, and you are vulnerable to whatever might be out there in the distance. There is no cover, no shelter. It is just you, the land, and the vast, empty sky. You stand there for a long while, taking in the sight of the open plain. The air feels heavier now, the weight of the land pressing down on you. You have crossed into something new, something unfamiliar, and though it offers a kind of peace, it is also a stark reminder of the unknowns that still lie ahead. The wilderness, with all its dangers, was a challenge you knew how to navigate, but this vast open space is a different kind of test, one you are unsure how to face, but there is no other way. The journey must continue. The road ahead is long, and it promises no answers, only the certainty that you must keep moving, keep searching for whatever comes next. You take your first step into the open plain, the earth beneath you hard and unforgiving, your legs still trembling from the journey so far. The wilderness behind you seems to recede with each step, fading into memory, but you know it will never truly leave you. It has shaped you, changed you, and the path ahead, though uncertain, is the only road left. As you continue across the plain, the weight of the wilderness lingers like an echo in your mind. Even as the landscape changes around you, the vast emptiness of the open land feels almost oppressive, as though it is a place that demands silence, that does not welcome the presence of life. Each step you take feels like a step away from the life you once knew, the life that was full of familiar roads, of people, of things that held meaning. The wilderness was harsh and unforgiving, but it was also a world you could understand, a world that in its cruelty gave you something to hold on to. But now, in the expanse of the open land, there is only the vastness and the wind, the feeling that you are adrift in a world that does not care if you live or die. The road behind you is fading, swallowed by the horizon, the memory of the trees and the shadows of the wilderness slipping into the past. You try to hold on to it, the sound of the wind in the branches, the taste of dust on your lips, the feeling of the earth beneath your boots, but it slips through your fingers, like the last remnants of a dream, the kind of dream that fades the moment you wake up. The wilderness has left its mark on you, its weight carved into your bones, but it is no longer a place you can return to. You are beyond it now, moving forward into something new, something unknown. And yet, despite the open space before you, despite the freedom the plain offers, you feel a lingering pull toward the road you have already traveled, the path that has shaped you, broken you, and rebuilt you in its own image. The land before you stretches endlessly, a canvas of brown earth and dry grasses, broken only by the occasional hill or distant mound. There is no shelter here, no promise of comfort. It is a place of stark, brutal simplicity, where the horizon stretches out like a challenge, daring you to keep moving, daring you to cross its vast expanse. The emptiness here is a different kind of silence, one that presses down on you, forcing you to confront the weight of the journey you have endured. You pause for a moment, the wind tugging at your cloak, the sun beating down on you relentlessly, and you feel the absence of everything you left behind. The wilderness was a brutal teacher, but it was also a world that made sense in its own way. It was a place that demanded respect, but also gave back something in return. The road you have traveled, though treacherous and harsh, has shaped you, molded you into something different. You are no longer the person who started this journey, stepping onto the path with naive hope and uncertainty. You have become something else. Someone who knows the weight of hunger, the sharp sting of thirst, the taste of fear. You have learned the language of the wilderness, the language of survival. And yet, as the road behind you fades into memory, you realize that the wilderness is not something you can leave behind. It is a part of you now, etched into your very soul. It has carved its place in your heart, in your bones, in the very way you move through the world. The wilderness may have let you go, but it will never truly let you forget. You carry it with you, always, a part of your story, a part of who you have become. You turn your gaze toward the endless horizon once more. The road ahead still unknown, still filled with uncertainty. There are no answers here, no promises of safety. But there is the road, stretching endlessly before you, and you know that it is the only thing that can take you forward. The wilderness behind you has already claimed its price, and now you must pay the price for the road that lies ahead. It will not be easy, it will never be easy, but you have already learned the cost of survival. And with each step, you move closer to something more than just the end of the road. You move closer to the person you are becoming. As you move further from the expanse of the open plain, the landscape begins to change once again, the harshness of the wilderness beginning to soften, but only slightly. The road, though more visible now, still stretches forward into the unknown, offering no comfort, only the uncertainty of what lies ahead. You travel on, but the silence that surrounds you feels heavier, more profound. The vastness of the land has a way of making you feel small, insignificant, as if your existence is but a fleeting moment in the grand expanse of time. The silence, though familiar, now feels oppressive. It is not the silence of the forest or the wilderness, the kind of silence that feels alive, pulsing with the energy of the land, but a different kind altogether. The kind that is born of isolation, the kind that makes your thoughts echo in your mind, sharp and loud, as if they have nowhere else to go but inside. It is a silence that presses in on you, making you feel as though even your own breath is an intrusion. It is a silence that reminds you of everything you've lost, everything you've left behind, and everything that still waits ahead, beyond the horizon. And yet in this silence you find something else. Something deep, something unspoken. The world may be vast and indifferent, but it is also filled with moments of stillness, that when you allow yourself to stop and listen, reveal something more. In the quiet, you begin to hear the faintest whisper of life, the wind moving through the tall grass, the distant call of an unseen bird, the faint rustling of leaves. The world, though silent, is never truly empty. It is alive, in its own way, in its own rhythm, and you are a part of it. The silence you now face is not just the absence of sound, it is the absence of everything you once knew. The road, the forest, the sense of movement. There is no longer any rush, no longer any frantic need to survive. The road still stretches ahead, but you no longer feel the same urgency to reach its end. You are no longer driven by the need to escape the wilderness, or to find something better. You have already crossed that threshold. The journey has changed you. The silence, now more profound than ever, has become a companion rather than a threat. You pause for a moment, standing still in the midst of the emptiness. You listen to the wind as it brushes past you, to the subtle sounds of life that stir the air around you, and in that moment, you realize that the silence, though heavy, is not your enemy. It is a part of you now. The stillness is not an absence of life, but a space where life can be found anew. You take a deep breath, the air filled with the scent of earth and dry grasses, and you continue your journey, no longer searching for something to fill the void, but moving forward with a quiet acceptance of the silence itself. The road ahead remains uncertain, but you no longer feel as though you are fighting against it. The silence has taught you patience, the kind of patience that comes from understanding that the road does not need to lead anywhere, and that sometimes the journey itself is enough. You walk on, each step softer now, each footfall lighter, as though you are no longer bound to the urgency of the world. The silence remains, but it no longer feels like a void. It is a space of reflection, of quiet understanding, and as you move through it, you carry the weight of your journey with you, but it no longer feels heavy. It is a part of you now, as much a part of your being, as the air you breathe, the ground you walk on, the silent, still night sky above. Time, once so tangible in the relentless march of your journey, has begun to blur, and with it, so too has the world around you. The road, which once felt like a tangible force pushing you forward, now seems endless in a way that is not cruel, but quiet, almost serene. The land you traverse is not hostile now, but it does not embrace you either. It is as if the world has accepted your presence, no longer forcing you to fight for each step, each breath, but instead offering its vastness as a quiet, constant companion. Yet, in this silence you begin to hear the echoes of your journey, faint whispers that rise like ghosts in the still air. They are not the sounds of your own footsteps or the rustle of the trees. They are the stories of those who have come before you, the forgotten travelers, whose paths have intertwined with yours, whose struggles have mirrored yours in ways you never realized. You feel their presence, not as shadows or spirits, but as memories that linger in the very earth beneath your feet. Their voices are not loud, nor are they clear, but they are there, subtle and soft, a reminder that every road traveled is never truly left behind. The journey you are on is no longer just your own. It is a continuation of 1,000 other journeys, each one marked by its own moments of hardship, of fear, of fleeting hope. The road you walk now is full of memories, not just of your own making, but of those who have walked it before. You realize that this road, this vast expanse of earth and sky, has seen more than you could ever understand. The echoes of their struggles, their hopes, their losses, are buried in the ground, in the trees, in the very air that surrounds you. As you walk, the landscape begins to change once again, but this time, it is not with the urgency of a shifting world, but with the quiet grace of something that has always been here, waiting. The land stretches out before you, rolling hills and distant mountains marking the boundaries of a world that feels both familiar and foreign, a place that holds both memory and possibility. You begin to understand that the journey is not about reaching some distant destination, but about carrying the stories, the memories, the lessons learned along the way. The road you are on is an echo, a continuation of something larger, something far more ancient than yourself. With every step you take, the echoes of the journey of those who have come before become clearer, more defined. You feel their presence, not as a burden, but as a gift. The road is no longer a challenge to be overcome, but a story to be carried, a story that is as much yours as it is theirs. The memories of hardship and fear have faded into the background, replaced by a deeper understanding that the road is not an enemy, but a companion. It has shaped you, yes, but it has also given you something more, the ability to listen to the stories it holds, to feel the weight of the past, and to move forward with the knowledge that you are not alone. The echoes of the journey resonate in your heart, in your every step, and in the very air that surrounds you. The road ahead is still long, but now it feels less like a path to an unknown end, and more like a continuation of a journey that is as old as the earth itself. You are part of it now, as much a part of the road as the dust beneath your feet and the sky above your head. And as you walk, you carry the echoes of all those who have walked before you, their stories intertwined with yours, their struggles woven into the very fabric of the journey you are still on. As you move forward, you can't help but think of the countless souls who have walked this path before you, their stories left untold, lost in the winds of time. For every echo you hear, for every trace of the past that lingers in the landscape, there are untold stories, stories that were never recorded, never remembered. The bones of the past lie hidden beneath the earth, the abandoned campsites and forgotten paths scattered across the wilderness, marking the places where others once stood, others who left no trace of their existence, except for the faintest memory in the land itself. You wonder about them, these lost travelers. Who were they? What brought them to this place? What stories did they carry with them? And what stories did they leave behind? The world is filled with the ghosts of those who have vanished without a trace, their names lost to time, their voices silent. The wind that brushes past your face seems to carry their stories with it, whispering tales of their struggles, their hopes, their defeats. But these are the stories that will never be told. These are the forgotten ones, the ones whose lives were swept away by the same forces that govern the wilderness. You too are becoming one of them, a fleeting presence in a vast world, leaving behind only the faintest traces of your existence. The thought gnaws at you, unsettling and persistent. How many others have come before you, their paths crossing with yours in some distant time, their footsteps now erased from the earth, their names will never be spoken, their faces never remembered, and yet they were here, just like you, walking the same road, struggling against the same elements, facing the same unknowns. Perhaps, in some small way, they too were searching for something, a way out, a way forward, a way to survive. And yet, despite their efforts, their stories have slipped through the cracks of time, lost to the wind, to the earth, to the unyielding silence of the wilderness. You walk on, the weight of this realization pressing down on you. The road ahead feels heavier now, laden with the stories of those who came before, stories that were never meant to be remembered, yet are now inseparable from your own journey. You are not just walking for yourself, you are walking for all those who have walked this path, for all those who were lost to time. Their stories are no less important than your own, even if they remain unwritten, even if they fade into the past. With each step you take, you carry the weight of their memory, even as you continue to move forward. The road is not just your journey anymore. It is the journey of countless others, their lives intertwined with yours, in ways you may never fully understand. You may never know their names, but they are with you, silently urging you onward. The unspoken stories that fill the air around you are like the land itself, vast, enduring, but ultimately fleeting. You wonder if your own story will be lost as theirs have been, if one day, long after you are gone, the road will continue to stretch on, empty and silent, carrying only the faintest trace of your presence, like a whisper lost to the wind. But for now you walk, each step a small defiance against the silence that seeks to erase the past. You are here, and your journey is real. As the road unfolds before you, something within you begins to shift. The landscape, which once seemed so vast and unyielding, now feels familiar, almost intimate. You have walked its length for so long that it has become a part of you, its twists and turns etched into your very being, the rough ground beneath your boots, the distant horizon, the ever-changing sky. It all seems to pulse with the rhythm of your own heart. You have traversed this path in both body and spirit, enduring its trials and learning from its challenges. But now, as you pause for a moment to take it all in, you realize that the road is no longer just the physical space you've been traveling. It is a reflection of everything you have become. You look back over your shoulder toward the distant past, to the places you have passed, the people you have met, and the countless moments of struggle and triumph that have marked your journey. The road is no longer a mere path to a destination. It is a record of your transformation, each step a testament to the person you have become, the lessons you have learned, and the resilience you have forged in the crucible of the wilderness. The distance you have traveled, both physical and emotional, has left its mark on you, carving out something new, something more than just survival. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. But as you stand there looking back at the path that has led you here, you also realize something else, that the road in all its vastness is just as much a part of the landscape as the trees, the mountains, and the sky. It is a part of something larger, something that existed long before you set foot upon it. The wilderness was here before you, and it will remain long after you have gone. The road may change, it may fade, but it will always be there, a constant thread in the fabric of the land. The path is a cycle, a never-ending loop, that carries the stories of those who walk it, and when you are gone, your footsteps will be just another echo in the wind, just another memory left behind for the earth to hold. You turn your gaze forward once more. The road ahead still uncertain, still stretching out into the distance, but now, it feels different. You are no longer afraid of what lies ahead. The road has become a companion, a part of your story, and as you walk forward, you do so with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that no matter where the path leads, you have already walked through the hardest part. The trials, the struggles, the isolation, they have shaped you, yes, but they have also revealed a strength you never knew you had. You are not merely surviving anymore. You are living, truly living, in a way that only those who have walked the road before you could understand. The road ahead may still be uncertain, but it is no longer a mystery. It is simply the next step in a journey that has already been written, and as you walk forward, you know that you are walking not just for yourself, but for all those who have walked this path before, and for all those who will walk it after you. The road is a living thing, and you are a part of its endless flow, and though the road may eventually end, it will never truly be gone. It will always be there, just as it has always been. The horizon stretches before you, a place where earth and sky meet in a quiet embrace. You've walked for so long, and though the road has shifted and the landscape has changed, the feeling that has settled in your chest is one of quiet resolution. The journey, once fraught with fear and uncertainty, now feels like a soft exhale, a letting go. You have learned the language of the wilderness, the rhythm of the road. You have endured, not just physically, but emotionally, learning the unspoken truths that the world has whispered into your soul. Your body, once weary from the trials of the road, has grown stronger, though it bears the marks of every hardship. The dust of the wilderness still clings to your skin. The ache of hunger and thirst still lingers in your bones, but they are no longer burdens. They are the threads that have woven you into the person you are now. The scars you bear, both visible and invisible, are the story of your journey, the testament of a life that has been lived fully, a life that has found meaning in the struggle. You know that the road before you is the last, the final stretch. The end of the journey is in sight, though it does not carry the weight of finality that you once imagined it would. There is no dread in your heart, no fear of the unknown. Instead, there is a quiet peace, an understanding that this journey, like all things, has reached its natural conclusion. The road, though long and difficult, has brought you here, to this place, and now it is time to let go. As you walk, you think of all that you have seen, all that you have experienced, the people you've met, the places you've passed, the moments of joy and sorrow that have shaped you. The road, though lonely at times, was never truly empty. It was full of life, full of stories. Stories of those who walked with you for a while. Stories of those who left only footprints and memories. You carry them with you, each one a chapter in your own book, each one a piece of the larger story that you have become. The wind picks up, carrying with it the scent of the earth, the smell of the end of one journey and the beginning of another. The road before you feels less like an obstacle and more like a natural progression, a path that has always been leading you to this moment. You no longer fight against it. You no longer struggle to understand its meaning. The journey is not about finding answers anymore. It is about embracing the experience, living in each moment, and allowing the road to carry you to where it will. You step forward once more, your pace slower now, but no less certain. You know that this is the end, but it is not the end of you. The road will continue, the earth will remain, and the journey, your journey, will never truly be forgotten. The last journey is not a place, not a final destination. It is a space between moments, where the past and future converge into a single point of clarity. You are no longer looking ahead to a future unknown. You are simply here, moving with the road, with the land, with the very heartbeat of the world. And so, you walk, knowing that this final journey will not end with an answer, but with a quiet understanding. You have traveled far, and now, with each step, you walk toward the quiet peace of knowing that you have lived. And that is enough. Even as you approach the end of your journey, there is a part of you that cannot help but listen for the call of the road, that quiet, persistent pull that has driven you forward for so long. It is a sound you have grown accustomed to, a beckoning from the unknown that has carried you through the darkest nights and the harshest days. The wilderness, once a place of terror and uncertainty, has become a part of you. And now, as the horizon before you begins to blur into the shadows of dusk, you realize that the road will never fully let you go. The world around you shifts as the last rays of sunlight dip below the horizon, the twilight sky filling with the soft hues of purple and gold. The air is cool now, the weight of the day having lifted in the face of evening. You stop for a moment, just to breathe, to feel the stillness that surrounds you. The road, winding and uncertain, still stretches ahead, disappearing into the night, but the pull of it is not the same as it once was. Now, it feels softer, quieter, a whisper rather than a demand. You wonder for a brief moment what it would be like to stop walking, to rest, to surrender to the quiet that the road offers in its fading light. The thought lingers, tempting and peaceful, but something within you resists. Even now, when the journey is nearly over, when the end is so close, the road still calls to you. It is not a command, not an urgency, but something deeper, a pull that comes from within, from the very bones of who you have become. The road has been with you for so long, it is part of your soul, part of your essence, and even as you feel the weight of the end approaching, the road's whisper persists, its call never truly silenced. You sit for a moment, the earth beneath you solid and cool, your body at rest for the first time in what feels like forever. The wilderness around you seems to settle with you, its ancient pulse slow and steady. The world has always been moving forward, whether you are ready for it or not, and the road, though it has carried you so far, will continue long after you are gone. You realize that the journey you have undertaken is not just about what you have gained, what you have learned, but about the way the road has shaped you, the way it has woven itself into the fabric of your life. There is no finality here, no abrupt end. The road continues to call, even as it comes to its close. And though you may soon leave it behind, you know that it will never truly release its grip on you. The call will always remain, like the faint echo of a song that lingers long after the music is stopped. The road has become a part of your heart, a part of your spirit. It is no longer just a path to follow, it is a place that will forever exist in the rhythm of your own life. And so, you rise once more, standing at the edge of the horizon, knowing that while the road may never fully end, you have walked its length, you have traveled its many twists and turns, and you have learned what it means to be part of its endless journey. The road still calls, and perhaps it always will, but for now you are content with the quiet understanding that the journey has been enough. You have lived it fully, and that is all that matters. As you take your final steps, the road ahead begins to blur, its edges fading into the distance like the last remnants of a dream. The land stretches out before you, vast and open, but the weight of your journey has finally begun to lift. The horizon, once so distant, is now within reach, but instead of a clear destination, it feels like a gentle ending, as though the road has simply whispered its farewells and allowed you to stand here, in this quiet moment, one last time. You stop, allowing the stillness of the world to wash over you. The sun has dipped below the horizon, leaving behind a soft twilight glow, the last traces of light clinging to the sky like the last notes of a song that is slowly fading. The air is cool now, and the wind whispers through the trees, carrying with it the scent of earth and the promise of rest. You are not in a hurry anymore. The need to rush, to push forward, has finally disappeared, leaving only the quiet peace that comes with knowing that the road has led you exactly where you were meant to be. The land before you is open and vast, but you no longer feel small in it. You have become a part of it, just as the road has become a part of you. The wilderness that once seemed so imposing now feels like an old friend, its challenges and its beauty woven into the fabric of who you are. The journey has been long, the road winding and uncertain, but it has shaped you, molded you, and in the end it has brought you here, not to an end, but to a new beginning. There is no fanfare, no final proclamation. There is simply the quiet knowing that the journey has been enough. The path has brought you through hardship, through fear, through moments of doubt and moments of triumph, but in the end, it has shown you something more. That the road is not just a destination, but a life. a way of being, a part of who you are. And now, as the last embers of the day flicker and die, you realize that you have not just survived this journey, you have lived it. And so, with a quiet heart and a steady gaze, you take your last steps into the fading light. The road may be behind you, but its story will remain with you forever. The journey, with all its struggles and triumphs, has shaped you, and though the path may now be over, the road, like the memory of every journey before it, will always be a part of you. Thank you for walking with me through this journey. If this story moved you, subscribe, and together we can explore more forgotten paths in history, where every road holds its own tale. Would you like to continue with another journey? Thank you for walking with me through the forgotten paths of history. If this story moved you, subscribe to join me once again on another journey into the past, where each road holds a new tale waiting to be told. What part of this journey stayed with you the most? Could you have endured such a long, grueling journey